All right, traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. I was just looking at a couple things. Uh, 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 I was also reading some analysis from Nick on Forex Analytics that just did a little update on the pound dollar. I want to take a real quick look at the U.S. dollar Mexican peso really quick, because we came really close to the double bottom extension that we had talked about from yesterday. Okay, came really close, and we're hitting the 786 retracement here. I've already bought some, but I'm trying to figure out where I'm gonna start looking to buy a little bit more, adding to this. Let me get rid of this stuff because this is from yesterday, right?
Like,
Yeah, you can. Oh, is my screen paused?
yeah,
Dang it. Thank you. Sometimes I forget I pause it. Thank you very much. Okay,
yeah.
good. Appreciate it. Thank God someone's awake. All right. Okay. Right there. So, a move above 1836. So I'm going to put in a buy stop. Yeah, so above 1836.50. Okay. So I put in a buy stop on the U.S. dollar Mexican peso. I'm already long a little bit, but if we break above here, I want to get long more. So just letting you guys know, that's going to be, that's going to coincide with some risk aversion, in my opinion. Okay. So just a little heads up there. All right, where am I at? Let's start with the euro dollar, and I'm got to grab the bias chart. So there we go. Oh, let's do this. Okay. So here is the euro dollar. So the euro dollar, once again, these levels of resistance up here around 111, 111 change. I wish I would have been awake when we were pushing in this 111.20s. I always love these stop runs that the market does. I think they allow some really great opportunities. But in this case, I was not. I got up and we were trading around 111.10, so I shorted some euro up here, which I think is a great price. Excuse me. I think it's a great price because I'm looking for an eventual move back down towards the lower end of this range, which would be somewhere down here. Okay. Let me also see something. If we take the spike high right there to the low right there, it's also the 618. Failures again above the 618. So obviously key resistance today is 111 and a quarter, roughly. I know we went a little higher than that, but that's going to be key resistance. So I'll stay short as long as that's intact. I'll look for another move back down to 110. Okay. And as long as we're below 112, the trend remains bearish. Okay, still bearish bias. Okay, let's go over to the cable. Now, the thing about the pound, the pound looks like now we have remember we have the Bank of England coming up, right, on Thursday, and I'm gonna delete everything here. Actually, I want to start off with this. Okay, so let's go drawing, remove. lines for current symbols. Okay, this is the cable. This is a weekly chart. All right. If you go from the low to the high, crap. Okay, we're well below support here. You go from this low, damn it, there you go, to the high. We're below the 161% extension there, which, obviously, starts putting, bigger moves back down into play. Okay. Hold on. I got to answer a question really fast. Okay. All right. So we have, in my opinion, the longer we stay below this this like 135 level, the more bearish it is. It's just it's just a it's more of a time thing that we're spending below here. Okay. Now, yes, there's going to be some recoveries from time to time, and that's what we're seeing right now. One of the things that I noticed this morning, and I brought it to Nick's attention today, is this. Okay. Okay, that if it was a little bit deeper, this is a 50% retracement here, close to. If it was more like a 618, that'd be a really perfect Gartley. But regardless, what you'll notice is we stopped at 161% extension. Do you guys see that? Okay. So we stopped here at 161% extension in the reverse. Now, to me, ahead of the Bank of England decision, we could see a pullback in the pound. Now, I actually I'm long the pound New Zealand, just so you guys know, and I'm long the pound New Zealand from 179.20, 21 actually. So I don't want the pound to actually pull back personally, but I think it can. I'm just hoping the Kiwi will pull back with it, so I don't have to worry about the pound New Zealand coming under too much pressure. But 130.50, if you guys want to get long, that's the place to get long, in my opinion. You want to get long down here. All right. Hold on, really quick. Give me a second. Okay. So 130.50. That's going to be support. All right. Resistance right now is going to be 131, whatever the highs are. 130. Oh, I'll just say it's 132. Okay. And it's still bearish. Although we've rallied back, we've had this nice rally, I still think it's bearish, and I still think while we're below 135, it's bearish, and all we're doing right now is back testing like some this right here. I think is all key resistance. If you think oh, I'm long the cable and I'm in the clear right now, I really don't think that that's the case. I think this is all a sell zone here, right? That's all a sell zone right there. Mirko said, if it was only deeper, gee, if I had a nickel. Oh, that's funny. All right. The low here is 132.05, so that means that 132 is going to be pretty key resistance today. I'm still laughing. It's funny stuff. Okay. Where am I? Pound. All right. Here's the dollar Swiss. All right. So the dollar Swiss. Well, look at that. Not that. Look at that. Look at this. Overnight, sell off. Wicks get below this previous resistance, current support, rally right back. It's pretty significant. Dips are very well supported here. And look at that. Look at that. No, look at that. Look at that. Let's get rid of this for a second. Okay. I mean, how important is this? 79 or 97, 95. 97. That's pretty important. Resistance 98.65. 98.65. This is a range. All right, let's go over to this. We're going to do the dollar yen. I just want to grab some coffee really quick. Hold on. Yummy. Okay. My sister and her fiance were in Chicago. They went to some coffee house in downtown Chicago that has like barrels, like wood barrels full of coffee. And they brought us back some of this amaretto stuff. I'm not drinking it this morning, but man, it is good. Good. Okay, so here's the dollar yen pushing right up into resistance. Okay. Hold on. Man, if I had any balls, I would be shorting this dollar yen right now. I don't though. I'm not inclined to do that at the moment. I'm a little scared to sell. Frankly, I'm a little scared to sell dollar yen, and with all this, all this news about, the BOJ and Abe and all that stuff. But we could get up to 104.28 dollar yen. Okay. Put 25. I still think we're going to go out of a bearish trend into a range, and the reason why we're going to do that is because the news that we got from Abe was, potentially policy shifting. So, is it enough to turn the entire ship around? I don't know. It probably is, but I don't want to keep it with a bearish bias, because there's going to be interest. There's going to be interest now to buy or to sell yen, on rallies. So I think we're going to be in a range for a bit. Until we start to see some risk aversion materialize in the equity markets. If we see that, then we might have we might see a little bit of a pullback in these yen pairs. But we're facing some pretty key resistance around here. Okay, support. Today will be 103.40. So 103.40 is 103.40, and I didn't type this correctly. I put the decimal in the wrong spot. Okay. All right. So, and if we break through 103.40, that's going to be a pretty bearish event for the dollar yen, in my view. Okay. All right. Let's take a look at the dollar Canadian. So dollar Canadian is pulled back. Eric just tweeted me a chart that this is a 38% retracement, which it is. Take this low here to the high. Spike low and breakout point was at 130.20. I think that's what we wrote down as support yesterday. I'm not sure. Do you guys know? What did we write down for support yesterday for the dollar Canadian? Does anybody have it right off the top there? You know, right there, available? 130.20. Thanks, Greg. So we did have 130.20 written down. So we hit 130.20 and we hit it this morning. We still have about an hour, but we could create a hammer here too. It's a little early, but anyway, if we do get a rally, you got to think that there's going to be sellers now at 131. You know, 131 to 131.40, there are going to be sellers now because it was a pretty swift drop. So 131, 131.40. There will be sellers on rallies now, okay? And we're still in a range. We really have to break through this 131. Well, in my opinion, it's got to break through 131.20 with some, you know, it's got to break through there and really show us that we're breaking out, and it hasn't, you know, it really hasn't, okay? So, you know, get a nice daily close above there, I think will be significant. You know, yesterday we closed right at 130.20. You know, 131.20 I think is where we closed at. We really need to get a move, you know, above there and hold it. You know, a lot of that has to do with crude oil. So, you know, we'll see if crude can hold 46 bucks or not. All right, let's go over to the Kiwi. I am short a little Kiwi, but it can move a little higher. You know, you have to give it all the way up to, at this point in time, 73.35. (127% extension of this move is 73.30. So we'll say 73.30 be resistance here. Support obviously is at 72 cents. Period. End of story. Oops. And we're still in our range. We're grinding higher, but I still think we're in our range. You know, we're grinding higher in this range. So I don't really want to. I don't want to make it bullish right at the top of this trend. Not yet. You know, we'd have to see some pretty severe dollar weakness for me to do that at this stage in the game. Okay, when I come back, we'll do the Aussie, the Kiwi, or the Aussie, the dollar index, peso, Swedish krona, Norwegian krona. I'll be back in a few minutes. Don't go anywhere. Hey traders, this is Blake Morrow. You are listening to the Morning Edge webinar. I want to welcome you all back. So let's go over to the Aussie dollar. Let's finish up with this one. So the Aussie, you know, the Aussie actually is looking pretty damn strong. I mean, we're approaching some pretty key resistance here at 76.50. You know, just as the Kiwi is, you know, approaching that resistance at 70, or it's, you know, at 73.30, or, you know, just above 73 cents. The Aussie dollar is attempting a breakout here, and matter of fact, let's go over to high to low. I think we could lift all the way to 76.85. I mean, it's possible, but especially with stocks as bullish as they are right now. So hold on one second. But anyway, we're going to write down 76.50 as being key resistance for today. 76.50, that's key. And we're in a range, but, you know, we could threaten a break higher here. Okay. Hold on one second. I also need to put that down because that actually, if we want to talk symmetry, that's more symmetrical than this. So we may actually end up spiking up towards 77 cents before it's all said and done. It's possible, especially with stocks, like I said, stocks as strong as they are. So keep your eye on possible move up to here. Support. Where's support? Support is 75.75. This should be pretty key support because if we break back below here, you're going to get anybody who's long going, it's kind of, it'll be deflating for them. So 75.75 should be pretty good support. 75.75. All right, let's go take a look at the dollar index. So the dollar index still, it doesn't look as bad. It feels worse if you're dealing with like the euro or the cable or, maybe some of the commodity currencies. It feels a little bit worse than it is, or it feels worse than it looks here. Because that's the dollar yen that's propping up a lot of the dollar index at the moment. 96. Well, God, I don't know if I want to write down 96, which would be right here. Where we write down good support is here for the dollar index. I'll write down 96 as being minor because you got a spike low over here, spike low over here, a lot of messiness right here. I'm going to write down 96. It's not major support, it's just support. Resistance is obviously still 96.80. This has now become significant resistance, and we are in a range. Let's go over to the peso. So I bought a little bit of peso today. I'm willing to buy a little bit more, really small positions here, but I'm willing to buy a little bit more on a breakout if we have an ascending wedge. But we're getting close to the double top extension, which leads us to 1825, 1826. So 18.2600 will be key support. And like I said before, if we break above 18, actually it should be 1837.50, 18.3750, then that'll be an upside breakout. We're in a range. But it'll be, you'll come out of this descending wedge. That has more to do with risk appetite and risk aversion. If the market has a if the stock market sells off, then you're going to see a spike up through here. Whoops. And that would be, that's where it gets bullish, very near term. Okay. Let's go over to here's the Norwegian krona. I bought a little bit of Norwegian krona down here too, because we are at support. Whoops. I want to stretch this all the way across. That is 841.50. Okay. We did bounce off